Hello, welcome to BJA Today. I'm BJ Arnett. There are times that you get to do something really special, and I get to be really entrenched in the liveness of being in Orlando, Florida at the International Christian Film Festival. When I say the liveness, I mean the liveness. You don't know what's going to happen from second to second, but that's what makes it exciting. This is an opportunity for all who don't know. This is like the Oscars of Christian filmmaking. The award show is coming in just a day or so, and we're excited about it. But to build to that, there's got to be lots of actors, producers and directors, and the all-important casting directors. And with me right now is Beverly Holloway, who is an all-important casting director. And I say that sincerely. Beverly, thank you so much for being here. You are all important because you're so sincerely fantastic in what you do. But you are one of the go-tos in our field. Because when people want a straight answer, when people want an understanding of what this real area is all about, we have to look for people who understand it. We've got films left and right, sounds coming from everywhere, casting rooms all at this event, screenings, and actors are looking for Beverly. You know, they know their film is coming out. They know that they have an opportunity to speak with you. What is that one thing that an actor needs to know before they even approach this wide world industry called film?
Yeah. I think if it's just one thing, I just think they need to know that they're called to it. It's a challenging industry. Actors, it's hard work. And if they don't love it, I think I've heard it said, if you can do anything else, go do it. But if your gut and your soul just tells you this is what you have to do, then pursue it with your whole heart, 100%, you know, treat it like a full-time job, because that's really how you have the best success. You know, you hear stories about the overnight sensation. Typically, they've worked for 10, 15 years before they have their overnight success, you know, but in the trenches, right?
I think one of the things that, even as I hear the sights, I hear the sounds of all of the films and the castings and hear the producers and directors speaking, everybody is always saying the same thing. Come prepared and be entrenched in it. But then there's that balance of how am I to start, and I just spoke to a lady like 10 minutes ago, how am I to start and keep my livelihood? And one of the things that seems to be so true is that if you direct yourself to your passion and keep going and don't stop, and I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
you got to get in there, and really be about it.
Yeah,
it's hard.
It is hard, and I myself, when I first started casting, there were times where I didn't have a project, and so I was doing other jobs to pay the bills.
Yes.
Oftentimes you really have to until you get to a point at which it's steady and it can be your full-time gig. And I was the same way, so I completely understand that. The challenge with that is that you still have to treat the acting side with importance.
Yes.
Because if it's just a hobby, then that's really
it shows,
what
doesn't
it does.
Yeah.
It does. And so I understand it's a challenge when you have a full-time job and you're still trying to pursue it. But being deliberate about it, about the time that you spend either, you know, going through the submissions, Actors Access, being in class, it adds probably another, 3 to 4 hours to your day, or time that you do on Saturdays or whenever you find the time. But you still have to be deliberate about it, because if you don't, I get comments all the time as I meet an actor, and they'll say, oh, I didn't know about that project, or I didn't know, or I wanted to submit, but I didn't hear when it was casting.
Yeah.
And those are the things that no one's gonna tell you. Like, you have to seek it out. You have to find out and learn and network with people as to like, what are the Facebook groups that are great to be a part of? What are the submission sites that are kind of the key ones to be a part of? And then you have to check them on a daily basis, you
That
know?
I think, see, what you're talking about is study.
Yeah.
You know, you've got to, oh gosh, what does the word say? Study.
Yeah.
To show ourselves approved. We've got to study.
Right.
And that, I think, is probably one of the hardest concepts, because sometimes passion does have anything to do with strategy. We just, like a cannon,
Yeah.
bump out.
Right.
But we miss there's a strategy to learning and developing that craft.
Right.
That's, I think, one of the things that'll help us the most to help people who are really interested in this.
Right.
We've got to give them the steps to hone in on this and make it a craft. We'll do that in just a minute. You guys, get out your paper and pencil, because we're going to be right back. Because we've got to get to the steps. I know everybody wants to do this thing, and it looks all beautiful and fun on the outside. And like Beverly said, it looks like that overnight success. It ain't true, y'all. It ain't true. This takes work, and it means long nights and long days. And you've got to study your craft. We'll be right back with more on the how-tos.
Parents, did you know we all hold the key to raising confident, caring children? All we have to do is unlock the power of praise. Catching kids being good is at the heart of every parenting strategy you'll find at boystown.org/parenting. Whether you're a parent, grandparent, or guardian of a toddler, teen, or someone in between, we've got parenting guides, articles, videos, quick tips, and even live parent talks on Facebook with Boys Town experts.
So we're constantly investing in praising children and finding those opportunities. And it really helps them to have that self-affirmation and that positive thinking. And then that really reduces their negative behavior.
The answer to discipline is praise. Isn't that lovely?
Who would have thought it?
Visit boystown.org/praise to receive your 10 Ways to Praise magnet. It's a great reminder to catch them being good, and that great parenting advice is just a click away.
I don't want to talk about it.
I don't want to talk about it.
Families don't have to talk about everything, but they should talk about how to plan for an emergency. Get tips and resources to make your family's emergency plan.
We're back live at the International Christian Film Festival, and I'm BJ Arnett, your host of BJAToday. This is like a big fun for me, because I get to talk to people who know about this industry. And who I'm speaking with right now is Beverly Holloway. She is the casting director of casting directors, let me say that. And we've been talking about how this industry affects actors and what we need to do as actors to really get it right. And to establish ourselves on a good platform with a really good background.
Right.
And you were giving us our steps. Now, in step 2, what do we need to do to just be fully prepared?
Right. Well, it's important that actors understand the tools that they have available. We talk about the actor's tool belt, right? So before a contractor is going to go on a job, right, they're going to look at their tool belt, make sure all the tools are in place and they have everything they need to accomplish what they're about to accomplish, right? And it's really the same thing. So there's different tools in that tool belt, and you have to be aware of what those are. So there's classes, of course, in like traditional training and classes all over the place as far as in person, which is now happening more and more. But there's online, there is a mecca of opportunity. There's people you can study with who are now holding online virtual classes where you're live, but it's via Zoom. And if there's anything positive that came from this whole season that we're now coming out of, is that the use of technology and the honing of technology.
And it's been amazing.
Yes. So there's way more available to actors than there was before as far as who they want to study with. If they want to study with a teacher in LA, they probably can.
They can.
They probably can.
They really can.
Yeah.
And I think what is so important about that is that now your opportunity to learn more is limitless.
Right, it is.
Around the world.
There's things
really
like,
learn.
exactly. And there's a site that I recommend, which is called Masterclass.
Yes.
And you're learning from the greats, you know, like Judi Dench and Helen Mirren, you know, and it's really insightful and very helpful.
It's very well done, and it's very helpful, as you said. And you get to hear a side of some of the superstars that we've enjoyed their work, but we get to get the inside scoop. When you take a look at the inside scoop, if you will, different actors have different methodologies in which they study.
Right.
But that one thing that they've got to come to in that casting room.
Yeah.
I've been in many of them, and the intensity, like just before you walk in the door, your heart is beating, everything that you've studied to prepare you for this moment. And now someone says, oops, the industry has changed. You're not going to walk into the room. You're going to come in on a Zoom.
Right, right.
How do you see that transition for the audition, for the actor? Because I think having that in your tool belt, if you will, is a big deal.
Yeah. Yeah, that's another huge part of that tool belt is now the technology and having the technology you need to be really in the game, right? Self-tapes are here to stay. Even when we go back to whatever our new version of normal is going to be, self-tapes are going to be the predominant first read opportunity. So it's time to invest in those tools. It's time to invest in that technology or have access to it. If you're not in a place where like your Wi-Fi signal isn't great, things like that, you got to find those places where they are. You can't compete without having those tools anymore. That's just
so
the
that
way
really
that it
is our step number 3, because if you've studied and now at this point you simply don't have yourself in position with the right equipment.
Right.
No matter how good an actor you are, it's not going to show
Right.
for that casting director.
Right. And that, like I said, that was different before. You could just rely on in-person auditions. But I really believe, and from what I'm hearing from my colleagues, is that what we've learned is the first read on tape allows us, which is the plus, allows us to see so many more people.
Right.
So it increases your potential opportunities because we're looking at more people. I can have way more people submit a self-tape than I could fit in a day's worth of casting. And you know, like anything, at the end of a casting day, we're tired. It's a hard process day after day after day. So the self-tape allows us to see more people and to kind of arrange it and process those reads in a way that is, I think, much greater opportunities. But it doesn't work if you don't have the technology, because the quality of that audition, that self-tape does matter.
It does matter.
It does
and
matter.
one of the things I think I ran into, and even talking to other actors about it, was that they didn't understand the technology.
Right.
And they were trying to do themselves to pull down costs. And immediately I began to say, there are too many independent studios popping up for just this purpose.
Right.
For just this purpose. Spend the $35, $50 in order to give yourself the opportunity to simply be the actor speaking into the camera versus trying to figure it out all yourself and then figure it out as you go.
Exactly. Start out that way, and every time that you go and work with that studio, you're going to learn something and you're going to begin to understand rather than having to do the trial and error on your own and spend money where you realized was not the best.
Exactly.
Go learn from people who they're doing it, they've already got it figured out. And then as you can, invest in the better Wi-Fi connection for your house. Okay, then invest in the camera, invest in the lighting. Before you know it, you have the setup you need. Yeah.
Okay, guys, you're getting some gold here. I hope your notepad is packing up. We've got another really, really important point to cover. Okay, now you got the first job. You step on the set. Then what? We'll be back in just a moment to talk about then what.
I don't want to talk about it.
I don't want to talk about it.
Families don't have to talk about everything, but they should talk about how to plan for an emergency. Get tips and resources to make your family's emergency plan.
When I was in Iraq, our convoy was hit. It was bad. After I came home, I could still hear booms and see tracer fire. Makes it hard to be a good mom.
As America's veterans face challenges, DAV is there.
I'm Naomi Mathis, Air Force veteran.
With the right support, more veterans can reach victories, great and small.
With help from DAV, I was able to begin to heal.
DAV provides a lifetime of support to veterans of every generation, helping more than 1 million veterans each year.
Today, I'm part of DAV. We're veterans helping veterans to get the benefits they've earned. And I give my veterans my all.
But there's more to be done and more victories to be won.
My victory is being able to be here for my children.
Naomi Mathis, thank you for your service. May your victories inspire many more. Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
What to expect when you're expecting.
Like here?
A teenager.
Today, I'm going to show you how to team-proof your home. First step, hide the car keys. Preferably somewhere they would never look. Challenges will come up. Be ready for them. Hi, honey.
Ready for the... Mom, you don't use mannequins in the mannequin challenge.
You don't have to know it all to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
We're live back at the International Christian Film Festival, and we've been talking about this acting thing with the expert of experts, Beverly Holloway. Beverly, you're giving gold, as my husband would say. These are golden nuggets that you're giving. And we're at that point now. We've done our study. We've done our audition. We got the spot. We got the job. And the character has a name. Actors, please, go for the name. Go for the one with a name. Okay? They actually are about to step on the set. And now what?
Yeah. And that can be intimidating when it's either your first time on set, or sometimes it's your first time on a bigger set, maybe a bigger setup or someone you've always wanted to work with. Those kinds of opportunities can, even someone who has some experience can kind of shake them a little bit. I think that it's really important. Like anything we talk about, the preparation, you need to be so prepared that you can then let it go, right?
Yes.
That you're at the point where you've done the work, you have that confidence, and then you let it go. Now it's inside of you. You know who the character is. You know the core of who they are as a person. And then there's some technical things. I would advise that you walk the set, that you go onto the set and you just get a feel for that you understand the environment so that that's not intimidating for you.
Yes.
You look at it, you kind of see your way around it, and then at some point, obviously, you're going to have rehearsals, but even then, you've already done the look around the set and feel it. Pray if you know, if you can, if you have that moment, just walk on the set and just pray.
I do it every time.
Yeah, and just take that moment to sort of center yourself, to bring God into the process. Don't forget that part of it. Yes. So that when you get to the rehearsal, again, you can let that go. You've done that spiritual preparation, that emotional preparation, and then just listen, just follow what they're asking you to do. And if you need things like water, have a bottle of water close by, or whatever those tools might be. If you feel like you need to have your script close by, just set it somewhere where you know those things so you actually can let it go. Most times, if an actor has a script nearby, they never touch it.
Yeah, it's kind of like your security blanket. You know it's there, but you don't really need it.
Right, exactly.
And one of the things that I think I've noticed coming from independent film to larger films and super large films, it is a matter of if you are prepared, really, really prepared, it's just simply going to come out of you.
Right.
And that is just so absolutely true.
It is.
It's just going to come out of you.
Right.
But I love what you said about walking the set. Because one of the things I remember so well when I first started and seeing the very first film I did was a big film, and I thought, are these people crazy? What in the world? And when you're very new and you're very green, that comfort level will come when you walk it and you get familiar with it. And I think that is extremely good point. But even after you've been working for forever, to walk the set, to pray over your environment, to give that understanding that that's going to set your stage, to be able to do what you need to do is just so absolutely important.
Yeah.
You know, there are people out there who are saying, I think that this is what I want to do. And I've had audition after audition after audition, and I've not gotten anything.
Yeah.
What do you say to that person who's just about to be the most discouraged person in the land because it just simply hasn't hit the way they want?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I want to say on a bigger picture, our God is not cruel. He does not play jokes.
Yep.
And so if you really feel like this is something that God has called you to, he's not going to call you to something and then snatch it away from you like the Peanuts, Lucy did with the football and Charlie Brown. That's not what God does. So there's a level of understanding that. But then, what is that reason? And I think we need to be open enough to understand, to seek the counsel, the honest counsel from people who you trust, who can speak truth to you and say, and it's a hard thing.
And it's a hard thing, but you're so right. Honest counsel, honest, and you've got to be able to handle it.
Exactly, exactly. And but a willingness to do that and to open yourself up, be vulnerable that way, again, to someone who's worthy of that trust, can be the key to understanding what hasn't been happening for you. Is it a technical issue in your setup? Is it a certain way? We all have physicalities. I talk with my hands a lot.
I do too. Bring them
little
back.
Things that are just completely subconscious for me and I'm not aware of. But if someone were to point it out to me, it would be crucial. And there are there's actors that have things like that all the time that they literally don't even know they're doing. And it hasn't been pointed out to them.
And so having someone who is wise counsel, who will sit down with you and say, okay, these are the things that I see.
Right.
And these are the things that you're going to have to walk through.
Right.
and
Right.
there may be some shifts in terms.
Yeah.
But if you have that wise counsel.
Yes, and you've got to be open to it and vulnerable enough. That's why I say it has to be someone that you trust, that you believe has your best interest at heart and wants nothing more than to see you succeed. So with that context, you understand the words they're telling you are within that context of, I want to see you succeed. So I am going to share with you this information that I observe about, your performances or the way that
the way you come on.
Yeah, the way you come off.
This is what we call gold. You guys, this is the thing that we've got to understand, that the industry is waiting for you to arrive.
Yeah.
But when you arrive, you've got to be excellent.
Yeah.
Do your study that craft. Make sure you are ready to receive this bountiful blessing of a great industry waiting for you. I'm BJ Arnett. Thanks for joining us. Beverly Holloway, thank you.
My honor.
We've got more where this came from, so you just hang tight. BJAtoday is live at the Christian Film Festival, International, no less.
Hi, I'm Erica Taraya. I'm an actor, writer, and I came to Beverly Holloway because I respect her. She's very well known in the industry for Christian films and for casting.
Hey, my name is Alexander Jesus Burgos. I'm an actor, and I came to the Beverly Holloway seminar on casting. She gave us not only information on how to do a good audition, how to go about the casting process as an actor, but also what really goes on behind the scenes, that a lot of the times it's really nothing personal towards us or nothing against our or towards our talent. It's really the technicalities of it, if we really look the part or not, but also how important it is that we need to put our foot forward.
Hi, my name is Gianna Angela. This seminar was one of the best that I've been in all weekend. It really was. Beverly was amazing.
It was really great. I mean, super informative. I think she was really great at kind of just like being real and honest and laying it all down on the line. If you're an actor, you definitely should have been in there, that's for sure.
I would say what was really helpful was just knowing that casting is still going to be at home and not in person for the next year, and just keeping up with the trends as far as COVID in this crazy year has been. Excellent. I'd give it a 10.
And the biggest takeaway, I think, is to always be yourself, because the thing that they're always looking for is seeing the person behind having the reactions, and then that can be molded. That we're all coming into this space not trying to be someone else, but just trying to be yourself.
I think it was pretty cool and interesting, and I learned plenty. Sometimes I try to change my clothing and things for the self-tapes, and she said that they needed to see what they were looking for is not the character but more of you, and I learned that, and I think that's pretty cool.
Here's a nugget. It has nothing to do with information. It's about her caring and her wanting to respond caringly when they're so busy, and in this industry when they're just like, oh, you're just another one of those. I got that she's like, I want to respond. My assistant has to respond because there's only so much time. But I appreciate that. As an actor, when you know you're one of millions, it's just nice that there are some directors casting directors out there that actually really care.